feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride away.
It appears that 50 Cent has now let people know that perhaps the full court press that he had against Chano, Jim Jones, Fabulous, and Dave East on their podcast, he might be chilling out. He actually put up a post today, and this was his post. Let's see what he says. He says, so, Jim actually wired $200,000, which, by the way, Fifth, he's short $50,000. You said $250, okay? If he wired $200, he's short $50. But okay, but ironic, he's short $50. He said, okay, cool. He may turn out to be a good tenant after all. Samuel, I guess he's talking to the person who owns the building that they shoot the podcast in. If you need to make them pay, just give me a ring. I'm here. Now, I'll do one better. And Fifth, I'm not trying to undercut you here. To Chano, Jim Jones, and Fabulous, and Dave East, I have about 4 or 5 studios that's literally within a mile from the Holland Tunnel, which is about like 3 miles from Times Square. It's just on the Jersey side. It's right over the Hudson. Everybody comes there, and I rent it out to a whole bunch of people. I'm down to whatever price y'all are paying. If you owed $250,000, y'all are getting fleeced. Now, despite our issues, okay, whether I use my studio and I've incurred those costs ever since I did Off the Record, even though I haven't been to the studio maybe in a month, right? When is the last time I've been there? With Lauren Conlon? I still have it. You know what I mean? The point is this. If you guys need a place to record, and by the way, I actually rock with you guys so much, I got a dressing room for y'all because apparently y'all be having like a dressing contest. Who could have the best, teener citizen drip? It's all good. We got a dressing room for y'all. But if y'all owe $250,000, what I would charge y'all, honestly, like I ain't no bullshit. Like y'all shoot once a week, right? I could give y'all a block of 12 hours for once a week, right? Like, does the editors need to come to the studio and do work other than the day you shoot? But if you want to rent out my spot, 12 hours, I'll give you preferential. You can pick whatever date. We'll push any rentals or whatever back. It's definitely a better location than where y'all at, because the only better location than where I'm at is Times Square. And I don't think y'all in Times Square. But let me see. Every week, 12 hours. Let me try to do the math. Maybe it would add up. I don't know. Well, if you require us to do some stuff, I'll give y'all a deal right now. I'll give y'all a deal. This is with our editors and, well, not full editors, but we'll do our recording people, our engineers. I do 3 bands. 3 bands for one joint. So 3 times 4, that's 12 bands a month. It would take a while for you to get to $250,000. So really, 12 bands a month, that would be $120,000 a year. Come on. Y'all get a place to record, and we'll put all your stuff in there. We'll even help you with set design. Shout out to my man Verselli. He'll give you a discount. We'll get your stuff in there. You guys don't have to be squatters. The squatter stuff is not cool. We'll help you out. So, I don't know why y'all are paying that much, but if y'all want to get in a deal with me and I'll rent you my studio, it would literally take you 2.5 years of non-payment to even rack up a debt of $250,000. 2.5 years. Okay? And I'll give y'all keys. Y'all can have access to the building whenever. The key card might just have to be for that day. Okay? Anyway. Fifth is saying that they have paid the debt and look like the bullying from 50, or maybe the embarrassment where we're looking at these guys like, wait, y'all broke? Has done the job. And that's where 50 always takes his micro wins. He wins. Not only no one is going to talk tough to him because it's 50 Cent. They can't talk money with him. But also, they don't want to be embarrassed by him. So whatever he might know that they didn't want no one to know, they went behind the scenes and covered up, and we heard nothing from Jim Jones, respectfully, and we heard nothing from Mano other than him saying, "Is smoking here? Does he want smoke?" He's called you a loser and a bum 15 times. I think he does. But okay, cool. So it looks like the podcast lives to fight another day. They have paid $200,000. I think that came from Fab, respectfully. Dave East, Mano, and Jim Jones, I don't think they got $200,000. I think that came from Fabulous. But it's okay. Nevertheless, the podcast lives. All right. Okay. Oh, 50's still boasting and bragging. He says, "Are you having a good day? Because I am. I'm number one again." You have a right to be upset about it. Holy shit. Now, did y'all see 50 go back and forth? Well, it wasn't going back and forth. He actually commented on. So Dr. Umar actually jumped in on this, right? So Dr. Umar did a stream with a Philadelphia streamer named Rod. And Dr. Umar, 50 Cent. And he gave some comments, and 50 actually responded. You know, let me see. Can we find where the 50 responded? 50 responded. He just said, "Shut up, nigga." Like, you know, he did a. This got posted to some Instagram page, and he just said, "Shut up, nigga." That's all he said. And this is what he said right here. Here he says, "Shut up, nigga." Right there he goes. Now, if you're wondering why he said "shut up," and by the way, Umar did respond afterwards, but let's hear what Dr. Umar said initially. Check this out.
I saw the Diddy documentary. Here's what I'm going to say about the Diddy documentary. And I have no problem with black people holding black people accountable. I'm having a problem with black people needing to expose black people that in-depthly.
Yeah.
But you never expose white people who do things to black people. The Roman Catholic Church has taken advantage of way more children than R. Kelly allegedly did.
Right.
Are you following me?
I'm following you.
Jeffrey Epstein has taken advantage of way more women than Sean Combs allegedly did. But where is the documentary on Epstein by black people? Where's the documentary on the Roman Catholic Church excesses on black people? You see what I'm saying? So to me, the 50 Cent documentary, again, respect the 50, no issues there. It is an example of self-hatred disguised as community service. You see how that go? It looks like community service. No, it's not. That's self-hate. I saw the Diddy documentary. Here's what I'm going to say about the Diddy documentary. And I have no problem with black people holding black people accountable. I'm having a problem with black people needing to expose black. Your spirit don't need a label. It don't need a title.
Right.
We give it one. That's the. I don't care if you want to get it through a religion, get it through a religion. So America has an independent reality.
Like a regular school for them because
beauty as a black woman is going to be determined. That's the message. That's. We're going to the services. You follow me? Jonathan Majors. Jail for a crime I don't think he committed. Tupac went to jail. Agent, right?
Yeah.
I just want to bring him down because I don't like him, right? I'm not talking about them. That's the ghetto informants. I'm talking about, because my circle very tight, right?
Yeah.
But in my youth, you will be taken down. We need black power. Them, right?
Yeah.
Look, 5'5" thick in the
What that mean?
You have a spiritual burden. Mm-hmm. See, it's not about promiscuity.
Yeah.
Conflict within themselves that they have to rectify. Every every cousin went to jail. I was getting a little concerned. That's how I ended up doing it. I'm saying I can keep going. I know it's not easy. You got a Republican dominated.
Yeah.
Because I came out the gate hard.
Yeah.
So there was not the exact system. Buying some. Everybody out here shopping for Christmas though. You see? And this right here is really one of my most disappointing periods of the entire in my universe.
Yeah.
More than we hate anything else in this world.
Damn.
Wow, thank you. Sorry, Chad. Of course, I'm muted. So, my bad. I pulled up the original clip just to try to get some real context. I'm trying to get out of the habit of playing like these clips we see on Twitter, which honestly, I mean, I have a bunch of Twitter pages, and I oversee a bunch of pages that I have people who post to. And they're going to try to find the most salacious clips. And to be honest, a lot of times it'd be out of context. And when I mean out of context, it's not like contextually dishonest, but it wouldn't rage bait you if you heard the context, right? Like if I just clipped 5 seconds of someone saying, yeah, and that's why I don't fuck with hoes with blonde hair. You're like, whoa, right? But if you heard a conversation, I'm like, oh yeah, I got set up 15 times by that. You're like, oh, it makes sense. So a lot of times when I see shit on Twitter, I try to find the original source and watch 3 minutes before the clip and 3 minutes after. I don't know if you guys like agree with that principle. Why? Because I've seen people clip me and they do it consistently and they're like, yo, this is what Act thinks. I'm like, well, if you heard 4 seconds before, I was literally given a context. I wasn't even talking about me. But clipping, as much as I love it because it's a great promoter, it could also sometimes lose the context. So that's what I'm trying to find it.
Damn.
Okay, that's number one. People, we're the richest.
So I'm trying to find a Diddy conversation, right? This is like a full VOD of what they were doing.
I don't know how to get started.
Now it's us.
So it's by design.
Yeah.
Borrowed, modified, and plagiarized.
It's not 24 hours, like the day over.
Recognize that there is unseen evil.
Right.
Whenever you marry, ain't no difference. We got pedophilia.
Yeah. That's nutty.
For somebody else's destiny, they might need that. God, you have to go into yourself.
Does anyone know?
And the reason you learn through only a question of when. You must a visible tattoo on your body. One that cannot be.
Hold on. Actually, they have this cool tool. I don't know if you guys use this tool. There's a tool on here sometimes that will say show transcript. Here we go. Perfect. Yeah, all we got to do is search the transcript. Documentary. Okay, here we go. Bingo. That's a cool tool, by the way. Here we go.
Documentary. What did you think about that?
I saw the Diddy documentary.
Yep.
So let's do let's try this for a bit. I'm gonna go back a minute or two. Let's get some context. And then we're gonna get to what 50 says.
And they said
that's what got me crying.
You hear about that? Yeah, 6ix9ine.
I heard about Aisha, but not 6ix9ine.
Takashi.
Yeah, I know 6ix9ine.
He was on some interview, and they said something about what celebrities you've been with, and he said Aisha Curry. He could have been joking.
What the?
Or
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, chat. Because what he's talking about with 6ix9ine, and 6ix9ine did mention Aisha Curry, he was clearly trolling, and he admitted he was trolling afterwards, but that didn't get clipped. So what got clipped was him saying he did sleep with her, and, that went viral. No one really went back to play the longer clip, and actually he had to do another, stream or whatever, where he corrected it to say, bro, I was trolling, I didn't sleep with Aisha Curry. So that's why I'm playing Dr. Umar in context.
Something like that, allegedly, you know what I mean? But I'm hoping that's not the case.
No, it's on.
I'm hoping that's not the
case.
It's
ass, but it worked. Yeah, super ass. Dan, that is crazy. Yo, we just watched the Diddy documentary. What did you think about that?
I saw the Diddy documentary. Here's what I'm going to say about the Diddy documentary.
Okay, here we go.
And this is not about 50 Cent as a person. It's about us as a people.
Okay.
Let me just say that up front.
Yeah.
I am bothered by the fact, and I have no problem with black people holding black people accountable, right? But
I think I know what you're about to say because I said it.
But I'm having a problem with black people needing to expose black people that in-depthly.
Yeah.
But you never expose white people who do things to black people. The Roman Catholic Church.
Let me stop it there. And I'm a little bit torn on this, but I'm not torn for the reason why Dr. Umar is saying what he's saying. I'm torn for the fact that 50 Cent has an axe to grind because there's a personal vendetta there. My baby mother and the woman who I was in love with for a long time, you have not only slept with, you've slutted out, and you have put her through some trauma that may even bleed into how she looks at not only sex, but also how she deals and interacts with people. One of the people who she has to interact with on a long-term scale is my son, and it is incumbent and it is the job of the father to make sure that your offspring has the best chance of survival and, doing the best in life, whether it's to make money or put them in the best situation or around the best people. And if you realize that the mom, who's going to be the primary caregiver, has been traumatized by someone, even if you still don't romantically care for her, you feel like somebody just spun on your family and you got to go spin on them. So I didn't think that 50 necessarily, because he has an axe to grind, you probably shouldn't pick the guy. You know what I mean? Like, if I had to write the story, if I directed the story of, and these are people who I don't even have, it's nothing ever that personal, right? But if they wouldn't make me the person who directed the Meek Mill documentary. And it's not that I even hate Meek at the current moment. Why? I've had a history with him that's not that pleasant. Who knows if I still have an axe to grind, or I might want to just make him seem like way lesser than maybe the world perceives him as. Do you get what I'm saying? That's my only issue with the documentary. Now, to Dr. Umar's point, I vehemently disagree with him. Because he's making a point on the counter that I know if we flip the scenario, he would try to defend the same thing in trying to argue people down. Let me, again, I don't like to lose people, but I know you guys are so smart, so, you guys can keep up with the convo. Check this, what he's saying.
Yeah.
I am bothered by the fact. And I have no problem with black people holding black people accountable.
Okay.
Right? But
I think I know what you're about to say because I said it.
But I'm having a problem with black people needing to expose black people that in-depthly.
Yeah.
But you never expose white people who do things to black people.
Okay, so let me then take the same premise that he says. And I would say this. Well, Dr. Umar, let's compare this, and I know this is not necessarily the same thing, but let's compare this to crime. And let's compare this to another hot and really kind of touchy subject in terms of black-on-black crime. I've heard Dr. Umar, but it is a talking point within the black community and black, pro-black talking heads. When you start talking about black-on-black crime, this is their response. There's no such thing as black-on-black crime. People commit crimes in the vicinity that they're in. So if black people live in either the ghettos or the hoods among other black people, they're going to commit crime among other black people. White people, if they live in the trailer parks, or if they live in, wherever among other white people, they're going to commit crime among white people. It's not a thing that black people just like to kill black people. It's just that black people are around each other, and if these things occur, that's what it is. So let's take that premise, not about crime necessarily, but about that same thing. Oh, black on black crime isn't a thing because it's just about who black people are around. So yes, if crime is going to occur, it's going to be about black. It's going to be, if you rob someone, it's going to be most likely a black person because you live there. Why can't we look at the same premise and say, well, if you're going to do a documentary, you're going to do a documentary about your peer. It's not necessarily about, oh, let's expose a white person. No, you're going to do a documentary. If you're a black guy in hip hop, you're probably going to do a documentary about another black guy in hip hop. You're not going to do a documentary about a country singer or about someone that's in the tech world because that's not the people you're around. So that's what I'm trying to say, and that's why I disagree with Dr. Umar on this one particular point. I don't think that this is a black on black thing, and why are you exposing black people but not white people? 50 Cent hung in his circles, was around people that were either close or shit, clearly was sharing the same bed with him and 50 and Diddy. So even though I do think that 50 is biased, who would be the better person to do a documentary on Diddy? Would you want some white person doing a documentary on Diddy that never knew Diddy, that never knew maybe women that Diddy was fornicating with, having freak-offs with? Or would you want someone who have been in the club with him 15 times, been on the phone with him? He knows intricately Diddy at a different level. Now, granted, I'm still not saying don't put his enemy, who has an axe to grind, but I actually believe that if we believe that most things are happening as a reason of proximity to other people in that same type of situation, whether it's black on black crime, yeah, I would expect black people to do documentaries on black people. What's the problem? White people should do documentaries on white people or whatever genre or wherever you live. Why is that so odd? And that's my opinion on that. I'll let Dr. Umar continue.
The Roman Catholic Church has taken advantage of way more children than R. Kelly allegedly did.
Right.
Okay, and that's where I say when people, like, he's flipping the idea of when people are trying to debunk black on black crime, and they usually say, well, no, it's not a thing. Black people aren't that hatred or whatever, and I believe that, right? But you can't use it only when convenient. Why the hell would 50 Cent, who's not Catholic, go to do a documentary on Roman Catholics or priests? Why the hell would he do that? First thing they would say, do you have any understanding, tacit knowledge, or even experience being around people who are Roman Catholic? Do you practice Catholicism? Do you go to one of these cathedrals? No. If you don't, why the hell would 50 Cent be qualified to do that? If anything, 50 Cent is qualified to do a hip-hop documentary or a documentary about someone within hip-hop, because what is he? A mogul and also one of the, better rappers, especially coming from New York, that is in hip-hop. It's like, put it like this. With Dr. Umar's logic, if they said, yo, we're going to make a documentary about the New York hip hop scene for the last 30 years, who do you want to direct it? You could get Steven Spielberg or you could get Spike Lee. Do you get what I'm saying? It's clear and obvious. Spike Lee. Spike Lee would know the culture more. He was a part of it. So that's more natural. The thing with Dr. Umar is saying is that, and I think he's trying to frame black culture for us to operate on a monolith like how some people perceive Jewish culture to do. Like Jewish culture, they don't like nobody attacking them. Period. Even if it might be truthful. Right? I don't think black people have that type of same type of cohesion and, oh shit, you're attacking one of us, so there's something wrong with you. It's just not like that. That kind of exists in Jewish culture. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you say one thing, if there was a black guy trying to do a documentary on some evil Jewish guy and he mentioned anything about the nigga being Jewish or Jewish culture, I think they would call that nigga anti-Semite, right? Clearly, right? So he's trying to have black people move like how Jewish people move, except never be like that.
Right.
Are you following me?
I'm following you.
Jeffrey Epstein has taken advantage of way more women than Sean Combs allegedly did.
Right.
But where is the documentary on Epstein by black people?
Why would black people make a documentary about Epstein if they weren't around him? That wouldn't make any sense. Now, if Trump said he's going to do a documentary, right? You might want to watch that. Trump has been around the motherfucker, knows intricately and intimately. That dude has been in situations. Shit, he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. He could do a documentary. Why would some random dude who's never been around the situation do the documentary?
The documentary on the Roman Catholic Church excesses on black people. You see what I'm saying? So to me, the 50 Cent documentary, again, respect the 50, no issues there. It is an example of self-hatred disguised as community service. You see how that go? It looks like community service. No, it's not. That's self-hate.
I said that.
Because we never do that to white folks.
Right.
We got a whole list of white folks who've been hurting us. Why we never done no documentaries on these killer cops? Why has there never been a documentary on Trayvon Martin's killer? There's never been a documentary on Michael Brown's killer. There's never been a documentary on Tamir Rice's killer. There's never been a documentary on Breonna Taylor's killer. There's never been a documentary on Amir Locke killer. You see what I'm saying? I can keep going. Sonia Massey's killer, Sonia Bland's killer, but we'll do a 4-part series on Puff. We'll do an 8-part series on R. Kelly. Where is the 8-part series on the Roman Catholic Church, Jeffrey Epstein, and all these other ones?
And to say this,
Harvey Weinstein didn't even get an 8-part series.
To say this, he's talking about from us.
From us.
Because he's talking about self-hatred.
From us.
Okay.
Because somebody said there is an Epstein from us.
From us.
Okay.
And the Epstein documentary is not no 4-part joint. They may do it now that he's dead. You see that?
Yeah.
But where was the Jeffrey Epstein documentary when he was alive? They did R. Kelly alive. They did Bill Cosby alive.
Let's see who did Surviving R. Kelly. Who was the people behind that? That's important to know, right? It was written by Nigel. That sounds like a black guy. But let's look at the executive producers. Yeah, it was black people who did that too. Dream Hampton is a notorious African-American writer that, yes, has some, definitely has a lot of ties to Jay-Z, but she's black. Tamara Simmons. It looks like this is a top executive producer. Tamara Simmons. I don't even know who this is. Tamara Simmons. Executive film producer. She's black. What Dr. Umar, I think, incorrectly is trying to perceive or portray, actually, not perceive. He's trying to portray that 50 is almost like going against what the majority of black people would do, as if 50 is the only black person that would do a documentary about another black person to try to bring down, quote unquote, that black person. Surviving R. Kelly wasn't done by, I'm looking at it now. Dream Hampton, black. Tamara Simmons, black. Maybe Jesse Daniels is white, but it appears that there were black people along with this. Jesse Daniels, Surviving R. Kelly. Okay, don't really know who this is, but I would imagine this person's white. Joel, okay, so it looks like it might be half and half. Joel Karsberg, this person got to be white too, right? That's white, film producer, white guy. Let's keep it going. Jessica Everett, okay, another person that's white. And this person here, who is this? Maria Pepin, clearly black. Once we see Bad Girls Club, come on now. And I'm seeing a small picture right here. Oh, never mind. It's a white girl. What the fuck? It is a white girl. So there's 2 black people, which again, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Dream Hampton, if you don't know, she's like a big deal. Like, she's a big deal when it comes to whatever. Okay, let's actually read. So filmmaker, music critic Dream Hampton served as the executive producer together with okay. And okay, let's not think about who came involved. Let's just think about who were the people behind it. Dreamhampton with some white people and Tamara Simmons. So it looks like 2 black people, 2 white people. Again, I know it's a little bit more mixed, and I'm pretty sure if we look at, let's see, The Reckoning. It's gonna be The Reckoning, Diddy. Let's see, fuck. Can we find it? Okay, Sean Combs, The Reckoning. Let's look at their executive producers. 50 Cent, clearly black. Hey, Emporium, thank you for the 10. I'm going to read it in 1 second. I'm pulling up the chat here. 50's black. I know Alexandra Stapleton, she's black. Let's look at Stacy Scripter. Who is this? Okay. Stacy Scripter, VP of Programming. She's white. So, like, listen, the narrative comes from the 2 people at the top. It's 50 and Alexandra Stapleton. We're never seeing these people on screen. Just like Surviving R. Kelly is Dreamhampton and Tamara Simmons, right? We're never seeing these white people when it comes to the Surviving R. Kelly or even Sean Combs' The Reckoning. The point what I'm trying to say is that the only argument you could make is not that, 50, why are you targeting black people? Because you can't big up Surviving R. Kelly when it's the same thing. It's black people who did that too. So the only thing that sticks out is that 50 didn't like this nigga. And 50 was beefing with this nigga. And then some people could bring up, 50 may have been accused of certain stuff that might be eerily similar to what he's accused about. And you're writing a story about how he's so bad, but maybe you have done the same. That's the only point you could really have.
They did Sean Combs alive. Where was the Epstein documentary alive? Where's the documentary on the Roman Catholic Church? Y'all never do nothing on them living Caucasian predators. It's self-hate. I'm not excusing what Puff did.
No, yeah.
But at the same time, I'm saying that look at how you go out of your way to embarrass one another, and you don't do that with the enemies of the race.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy nigga.
Okay, that's the point. So I'll leave it at that. I did see that Dr. Umar did respond after 50 Cent, shut up, nigga. Dr. Umar, 50 Cent. He responded with like a long-ass post. It was kind of eloquent, a little bit. And let me see if I can read it to y'all. Here we go. He wrote the whole thing. Media, here we are. He wrote the whole thing. Why can't I find it? Let me just look up Dr. Umar. He damn well issued a statement. Let me look at his Instagram. Dr. Umar, Instagram. Here we go. Maybe it's on his Instagram. I think it is. Okay. Here we go. So it's a United We Stand. Dr. Umar Infatunde. I didn't even know that was the last name. He says, peace and Pan-Africanism. Mr. Curtis Jackson. It's been brought to my attention that you posted a clip of my recent interview with Rod on your Instagram page. I got no beef with you, big homie. But I always stand on business, and I meant exactly what I said. I'm proud of your new film studio, and I think we should collaborate on a few projects for the culture. I have a strong base of grassroots support in Shreveport and throughout Louisiana. How about, what is this, like a job interview? Yo, Dr. Umar, get to the shit. How about we co-produce a few documentaries and docudramas for our people on the Black experience? I'm a leader in Black global Black consciousness, the most popular Black scholar in the world, and I got a Black youth ready on all continents. I was a fan of Power, Raising Kanan, and BMF, but the time has come to turn the corner and start producing more socially progressive and culturally enriching content for our community, especially the youth. Put up or shut up. I'm ready for a real independent black TV and film revolution. Let's get to work, big homie. Tomorrow is promised to no man. All we have is now. Most requested scholar. Yo, Dr. Umar. Brother, I fuck with you, but this was a goddamn disgrace. Actually, I seen this thing before. I didn't read it until I'm on stream. Yo, Dr. Umar, bro. Bro, pick your head up for some fucking air, gang. Wipe that glaze off your face, homie. Come on, gang. Brother, I know they're locking you out of your accounts. I don't know what type of fraudery is happening when it comes to you. Not necessarily you're doing it, but look like, people are playing with you. We like you, and I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, when I start seeing people embracing you, I thought you were supposed to be our Martin Luther King. You and Tariq Nasheed. You Martin Luther, and he over here Malcolm X. But brother, I ain't gonna lie, some of the fraudery and when I realized your top issue was no bunny hopping, I realized I'm like, yo, I like you, Dr. Umar, and I won't speak ill of you because I know you stand for some good shit. But this was disgraceful because you called this man out because he did a documentary that you felt was tearing down the black community, but not only tearing down the black community, it was tearing down a black man that was powerful in the culture. I know you weren't defending Diddy, but the point of why you critiqued him was that he wouldn't do a documentary tearing a white man down. How the hell did you write this whole statement basically offering up your service, talking about you're the most requested scholar? Yo, let's collaborate. Yo, what the fuck? You should have stood on business as you said in here. You said right here, but I always stand on business. This wasn't about him collaborating with you. He never thought to collaborate with you, and everybody know 50 a slimy nigga. He don't want to collaborate with you. His goal was to punk you, just like he's punking Mano and Jim Jones and them, and they had to run to the bank and wire $200,000. Mr. Ifantunde, what you should have really said to him, hey, I don't want to tear you down with me responding. That's fine. Because I do think your studio could help the black community and the black progress of some of the things I'm pushing in the initiatives. However, we were talking about this documentary that you produced surrounding Sean Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Brother Love, Combs. You should have addressed that. In no way in this goddamn message have you addressed it. It felt like as soon as 50 gave you the attention, you submitted your resume basically saying, brother, listen, fuck Diddy. Just give me a job. Let's work together. Me and you, we could do some good shit. That seems facetious. Am I tripping, chat? Let me open the chat here. I might be tripping. If I'm tripping, say, you wildin'. By the way, there's nothing wrong with him trying to collaborate with 50 Cent, but come on. The reason why 50 responded to you is because you critiqued him for doing a Diddy doc. Not that he said, hey, is there any black leaders that want to come to my studio to work on black empowerment stuff? Does 50 even look like that type of nigga? He don't look like Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole. Does 50 even look like one of them marching ass like, yo, we gonna be all right, mice on ass niggas? Fuck no. The nigga produced Power. He been producing, 50's producing stuff about drug dealers and crime. Power. BMF. He's not trying to produce some shit about, the honorable, come on. He ain't trying to do that. All right, some people say I'm tripping. What I'm saying is that Dr. Umar looked crazy on this. You came to him about him producing a doc about a black mogul, and you felt like that was tearing down black people. And instead of you saying, brother, I don't like that you did that. You basically showed him your credentials and resume and then try to pitch some new things. Now, granted, that could be part of the solution. But 50 never sought you out or responded to you because you were offering solution. He responded to you because he didn't like your critique. And when you responded to the fact that he didn't like your critique, all you said was that you stopped mentioning the critique. That's the problem, if you ask me. All right. Speaker Music says Dr. Umar is a cancer to our culture. Ebro thought Drake was. I won't say that. I do believe that this wasn't it wasn't the best year for him. It started to make us question a few things. And again, I might be a fool when I say this, but, you know, I'm one of those people, when I read the Bible, I'm like, so you're telling me that we're reading the Bible and we got to read that God sent his son here 10,000 years ago for some other people who existed in that other time, but we out here struggling now, he won't send his son now for us? Then I got to think about this. So you want to tell me that the greatest leaders of our time, the black leaders, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, they only existed in that time? Who are we stuck with out here now? So I've always said, maybe not the same message because we're not going through the same plight. You know, part of the greatness of Martin and Malcolm is that they were under threat of being assassinated if they continue to go down a certain path. Most people, like, I don't think Dr. Umar is under threat of being assassinated. So when I compare him to these people, you might be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I'm saying that who's the black leader in terms of rhetoric, ideas, and whatever it is? I've thought it was Dr. Umar and Tariq Nasheed. There's a few niggas who, like, talk well, like Roland Martin and niggas like that. Them niggas is just scholars. They don't got nothing going on. Like these guys, I feel like they galvanize people. So I've said, like, yeah, maybe that's what they are. But when I hear shit like that, I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway. I wasn't trying to criticize Jesus. I was just trying to say, I do believe in every era there are people that represents the overall picture. And I'll leave it at that.